Welcome to Zip Tie Customs. This is episode part. It's number 3 on the list of videos for the Mustang. We're gonna be putting a kickdown cable in, which it's already installed because I forgot to record an intro. So now I gotta put this back in the beginning of the video I edited, and then transmission mount, throttle linkage springs and stuff, which is way too tight for the throttle. I don't know how it will feel on the pedal because I don't have a throttle cable yet. So, transmission mount, kickdown cable, kickdown throttle holder plate thing, and then I don't know, whatever else. Like I said, whatever else is in the videos, what else I'm doing. There might be parts in the mailbox. I gotta go look. Because it said there's stuff coming on Thursday. Today's Friday. And I didn't see anything at the doorstep, so maybe it's at the mailbox. Probably gotta run down there and look. I actually got the torpedo heater off right now so you can hear me. I gotta get a mic eventually. Next couple of checks I'll get a mic. But I got a little heater over there hooked to a propane tank that'll keep it warm when I want to talk in the camera. Don't get to negative 15 in 5 seconds. But yeah, we're gonna attempt to install this throttle bracket on the 2-barrel carburetor for the Mustang, and then I got this kickdown cable kit from Low Car. It seemed pretty straightforward if you watch a Monster Transmissions video on it, how to adjust it. We're going to attempt that here today. I'm going to start off by putting this, what do you want to call it, throttle cable and kickdown bracket. I don't have the throttle cable yet, it's still in the mail. I think I probably just ordered the cheapest one there was. I should have maybe got a Low Car one because then it would match the kickdown cable, so I'm not entirely sure it'll work with this kit. Give it a shot. Can't even open the package. We got springs in here, and I don't want to break the springs in half. I don't know what's going on here. Too complicated for a guy. They get a mounts kind of like this. That's kind of your adjustment. I think it goes like that. I don't know. It goes like that, I think. I don't know. That don't seem right. Okay, no. Like this. This bolts on, back bolt to your carburetor. This is your adjustment, throttle, kickdown, I think. But the kickdown does come with its own little deal right there. That kind of mounts into this. That's probably the biggest thing I bought for this car was this kickdown setup, because I don't want to ruin this out of the tranny, and I don't know much about the Fords and how finicky they are, so I'm just going to do it somewhat right with this, which is weird to me, I guess. Normally I do things half-assed. If it was a Chevy, I know how to adjust them with my eyes closed, the kick down on them, with a piece of baling twine hooked to the carburetor to get the geometry right on it. Could have spent half the video on opening the plastic off the spring. Oh, there we go. I do have to get a microphone soon because it is too cold to run without the heater going in the shop, and well, not really a shop, the garage with tarps on the wall. It's a lot better than working outside though, I'll tell you that. Alright. Maybe I should read the directions for once. Yeah, it's exactly how I thought. Just pretty much any 2-barrel carburetor, Holley Sniper, Eldebrock, 4 barrels, Holleys. Don't really matter. This isn't actually an Eldebrock, I think, by the picture. Mounts to the bottom bolt, which it'll work on the 2-barrel. And throttle cable. Oh, I don't have a hole for the kickdown. That's for the spring. You put plates, I don't know, I'll show you when it's done pretty much. So I'm running the, what do you want to call it? It's a 4-barrel intake with 2-barrel carburetor, just for reliability, and they're just easier and cheaper. But the 2-barrel to 4-barrel adapter has bolts and they just want to fall out the bottom, so I gotta use something to hold the bolt up on the bottom. You know, this might not work on this carburetor with the idle screw right there. Hopefully it will. Two-barrel carburetor. It's a little different than the Elderbrock's stuff. But the idle circuit, or the idle adjustment screw, is right in the way for this, and it kind of makes it tight. So I kind of gotta auger this hole out just a little bit. Hopefully I can make it work. Well, just realized after, where'd the bracket go? After kind of augering this hole out to make it fit right there, right on the carburetor, right next to the idle screw. And well, I thought, hey dummy, you've had too many drinks tonight. Why don't you put it where it's supposed to go on a normal 4-barrel carburetor, down on the intake? So now, hopefully, well, that's where it's supposed to go. Not up there, down there. Technically, it should be up on the carburetor on a 4-barrel, but the bottom of a 4-barrel carburetor is supposed to be where this bolt is. Hopefully that bolt is long enough. One issue I'm going to run into, well, if I can hold it, is that when it's mounted up on there, this bolt might not be long enough to hit that, but you know, that's easier than trying to make it fit in all that junk. So I'm going to take that bolt out, and hopefully, well, I got to tighten that bolt back up before I forget and I don't have a vacuum leak. So hopefully that bolt will be long enough. It shouldn't be that hard to find another bolt. But you noticed on the last videos how this thing kind of ran a little rough. I don't know if that's because the motor is still cold and the choke is still shut and it just needs to warm up, but I don't have coolant to let it really warm up, or because there's like 79,000 firing orders for these 302s online. If I haven't tried the other firing order yet. This is the first firing order I tried. It runs, it starts, it revs up, but it does have a slight miss at low end. I don't know if that's just because it's cold or what, or if the spark plugs and wires from 1989 are any good or not. These are from 1989. They do have a, hey, I'll just bring you right up to them. These plugs, or these wires, they are original Motorcraft, and where's the year on them? That one you can barely read, but where is it? They're all the same plug wires. Right there. 1989 Motorcraft, and this motor's from a 1989 Lincoln Town Car. So maybe it's the original plugs and wires that are making it run a little rough, but otherwise there's like 1,000 firing orders for these things. Luckily, I went to college. I was lucky enough to go to college, and lucky enough, college kind of helped me buy all these tools. So I got nice sets like these where I don't have to sit and dig in the toolbox and hope to find the right wrench or socket, because I got most of them. And then also being on a Snap-on, a Mack truck, I got a lot of tools. And buying old Snap-on from previous co-workers. I got a lot of nice tools. this bolt might be just long enough. Wherever I put that stupid bracketing, and I keep losing it. Yeah, I need a washer, so I don't think this will be long enough. Hopefully, it's a standard thread. I'll have one. This is tranny mount. I cannot, out of this whole farm, cannot find a nut for this. This nut actually come from the wheel on an old jack that I got here, but I don't know where the other nut is. I only got one. I cannot find this thread. Hopefully this isn't the same, whatever it is. And I'll have it in this little kit I have here. Oh, my vacuum line's right away. Well, now that bolt is like a million miles too long. Try to find another. Is that little bolt is probably not long enough, and that all that does is keep this from sliding back and forth when you're, you know, wide open on the throttle. But the way this bracket's kind of bent, I might be able to just jam it in like that. This vacuum boost, not vacuum boost, well, the vacuum line for the booster might be in the way, but I think I could make it work with, you know, some zip ties. This factory throttle and kick down is going to come out of here, so let me get this out of the way. Hopefully I got the right throttle cable. Otherwise I gotta somehow make this one work. This is, I don't need that anymore. I don't know what it is on these Fords, but that tube right there runs through both of the back of the heads. I thought it was just a smog port with, what do you want to call it? With exhaust. But I have no coolant in this motor yet. There might be a little bit, but it is leaking coolant from that port. So hopefully the heads aren't cracked. That kind of worries me. But nothing a little stop leak can't fix. I made the mistake on my Monte Carlo I have. I put a cam and some different heads and intake. I did pull the top end apart. Well, I didn't know that the intake bolts, like these intake bolts, are not a dead end hole and go right into a, what do you want to call them? A coolant passage on the small block Chevys. Well, you're supposed to put Teflon tape on them. I never did. It started leaking coolant. I thought the heads were warped or whatever for the longest time. Well, now I'm realizing that the Monte is only doing that because the bolts lead into coolant. Well, anyways, I fixed it with stop leak and it works. It's been like that for, I don't know, 3-4 years now since I last did the camshaft in it. So nothing a little stop leak can't fix. As long as it don't clog up your radiator and your car stays cool, you're fine. I think this might be a problem though. Is this vacuum line. It might get hung up in the throttle. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. Maybe just leave it looped up like that. What I will try to do with this vacuum booster is I believe that might be a port for the vacuum booster, but I'm not 100% sure. It looks like it leads directly into the intake of the carb, so underneath the, underneath the butterflies. I'm gonna try to run it to there, and if I can, it'll work a little better than down there. I really don't want to tighten that or loosen it anymore because when I was tightening it last time, it was pretty tight, and I don't want to really move it much anymore. So hopefully, by putting it right there, it'll work. We're gonna find, I don't know yet. Alright, now I need a ratchet that I lost. Now my vacuum line isn't long enough. Luckily, I got like 1,000 feet of this stuff. Let me go cut some quick. Well, I got like 1,000 feet of this stuff. I don't know where I ever got it from, but I have a lot, and luckily it's the same size as the vacuum booster, so we're gonna swap this line out for a little longer one so I can go to the carburetor. And all my hose clamps are a little too big for this size, but it'll work fine, good enough. I don't know if this stuff is fuel rated, but well, this isn't for the fuel, but if I ever need it for fuel, I don't know if it will be good enough for fuel. But I'll never know until I try, so where did I put the ratchet? I just way over here. Should almost name the channel to Where'd My Tools Go Garage. It's out of the way for the throttle and kick down now. Hopefully it will pull enough vacuum through the booster. Otherwise, I'm just not going to run a booster. Well, still going to run it, just not going to run vacuum to it. I think I got to start from underneath. And here's the kick down. This is carburetor side, throttle body, whatever you're running. And this is transmission side. So I have an AOD fork transmission. I know nothing about these. So you're pretty much in a learning experience with me on how to adjust this. As far as I know, once you get everything tight and hooked up. This is your gap adjustment for in between this and this. You put this little tool in between these two after everything's installed. I kind of show it a little better. And I think I lost a set screw for this. There's supposed to be 2 set screws for this, and there's only 1. Hopefully that's enough. Well, Monster Transmissions has a really good video on that. I'm just gonna kind of copy their video and go from there. Alright, I forgot to throw the tranny mount in quick. That is mounted to the tranny. I only have 1 bolt on the bottom. I still need to find 1 more. Now, I'm going to work on my kickdown cable. Alright, so I believe from reading instruction, this is how I put this together. So, this is tranny pad. I had to flip this bracket because the L bracket was the other way. There's 2 different ways to install this. One of the ways is when that's your shift linkage. If that is facing down, you have to come from the front of the tranny and mount to, I think, that bolt, and this would be up, and that shift linkage would be down. But mine's the other way. My shift linkage is up, so this has to be down, and you have to mount it to one of the tranny pan bolts, and then it loops up around the transmission, up on top of the transmission, up to the back side of the motor. I believe that's how this is supposed to be. Don't quote me on that, but great. Drop the nut. Thank God I found the nut. Alright, so instructions. Okay. Doing it wrong already. Alright, I keep running out of space on my phone. I have to get an actual camera. Eventually. So, what I had to do is I had to flip this bracket the other way. I don't know if that was I don't know if that's what I was supposed to do. That's what I did to make it fit like the directions say to do. Alright, I got the alternator bracket in the mail. Alternator bracket's on. It is not exactly how the directions say to put it on. The directions say a spacer is supposed to be up there and you only have one spacer down here. That spacer is an extra one. It's only supposed to be that big spacer and this bottom bolt. But with how the directions say, the thin spacer up there, big spacer down here, it's like way, way off. This is just an alternator bolt once I get an alternator, but it looks a lot better. I feel like once the pulley and the alternator's out, it's gonna line up with this back one, and I know these ones line up with the water pump when the water pump pulley's installed. So I really can't tell until I get an alternator, which is $100, which is way too much, but I gotta wait for another paycheck. I mean, I got it in the bank right now, but trying to save a little bit because I got to go back down to Texas for work. So once I get an alternator, I can line these up, tighten this all down, get an alternator in there, get that back on, tighten that down, and I believe, where is it down there? I believe that belt might actually fit. I am not sure yet. I will have to find out once I get all that figured out. So now on to the kickdown cable. Actually, thinking about it, I can't adjust the kickdown cable the right way just yet. What you're supposed to do is, once this is all hooked up like it is now, where I think I could probably take a little more slack out of that, but I'm gonna leave it right there. What it's supposed to do is you put that spacer in there, and you put a oil pressure gauge, or I got an actual kit to put on the line pressure. Once I put that in there, it's supposed to be 30 psi, 35 or 32 to 35 psi with that spacer in there at idle, and when you take it out, it's supposed to be at 0. So that's when you know it's set correctly. But the Mustang is out of gas, so I can't start it to test line pressure. So that's pretty much it for that. I think that's gonna wrap this video up. Oh no, I do have this thingy. Unless it yeah, I don't think I'm gonna install that because, well, maybe I should. I don't know. Let me see how you're supposed to install this. Alright, so the geometry thing is installed. I'm trying to figure out where to put the springs. I think I gotta get different springs because they're not enough at idle. The springs aren't on it right now, but it'll do this at idle, but then it's super hard at wide open throttle, which I think it's a kickdown cable. I gotta adjust. Oh, there goes my light. I have to try to adjust that. I don't know. I'm running out of time this week. I think this is 5. I don't know yet. I gotta play with that a little bit because I think this has got to be bent up just a little bit, but that's a project for in a couple weeks. I still got some more parts to order. I'm gonna get aluminum radiator because this one's shot. Alternator, drive shaft, either find a shift linkage or make a shift linkage because 2 different transmission, or the transmission in here is different than the original, so something's got to go with the shift linkage. Need to work with this more. Got to get a throttle cable. I need where is it at? I don't even know where it's at. Oh, right here. I have to get a longer line for the oil pressure. This motor does have really good oil pressure. I think I got a video clip of that. But this isn't long enough for where I want the gauges. And I'd like to get some copper line anyway, because this stuff is brittle after a while. I gotta take the original throttle cable out, take the original kickdown cable out, and then I think it'd be good. But I'd like to get more of a straight shot on this because it's not really doing anything from there to there. I don't know if tightening it would help. Maybe. Well, you can't even see what I'm doing. I don't know if tightening it would help pull it right away. Probably. It's not really pulling on it right away. And I don't know. I gotta get that adjusted better. And then, like I said, drive shaft, radiator, a couple other little things. And I think this car will be drivable. Alternator belt, just little stuff. So next time you see this car, I might have to delay this video a while because I'll be gone down and working down south for a while. So I'm probably gonna upload this video while I'm down there. But then there might not be a video for a week or 2, depending on how long I'm down there and how the videos that I have edited are planned out to be uploaded. But you'll see this car maybe driving on the next episode. Probably not. Depends how much stuff I buy for it. But yeah, thanks for watching.